Blessings, everyone. Today, I'm using a new oracle deck. It's Spirit of the Animal Oracle. And Spirit was very, very adamant this morning. I just got finished doing the third eye chakra singing bowl. And they had me work with also a new crystal, which is spirit quartz. This is absolutely gorgeous. So there's a lot of new energy information coming through today. And so working with this deck, the pull was strong. And it's something, the third eye chakra is something that I feel like it's always a focus. A lot of us are always trying to tap into the psychic abilities or trying to access the Akashic records, trying to hear our guides. And so they've said for the next couple of days that this is an energy to be working with. So first I would like to say thank you to Source for allowing me to be a medium of light. And I ask the spirit animals to step forward and please help bring a message for the highest good. Thank you. I'm grateful. This is a large deck, so you have to be patient with me. I shuffled 3 times. The first one embodies Source. The second one embodies Spirit. And the third one embodies Soul. So when I do these readings, what I'm doing is I'm aligning the Trinity with the energy, because all that is new and created is from Source. And then it goes to our higher self in Spirit, and Spirit transcribes that down through information from our guides, angels, loved ones, light beings, intergalactic beings, spirit animals, like we're doing the oracle. All of these things, when I'm doing this, is filtered through higher self and drops down into the soul. That helps to tell the story. Then what I do is I just move the deck, and whatever spirit pulls out or I'm drawn to, like this card is moved up. So I'm going to take this energy. Chameleon Spirit, act as if. And it's number 14. Just need a moment because this is a new deck for me and I'm connecting with the energies. As a guide, step forward. The first thing that they're bringing to my attention is, what does chameleon, what comes to our awareness when we see the chameleon? And the first thing is changing and adapting. And they're saying the moods, colors sometimes represent that, and we have the different chakras that also are represented by different colors. And so the first message that's coming through is that sometimes we may be centered in our heart space, which is the green. Sometimes we may be centered in our solar plexus, which is yellow. Sometimes it can be the sacral chakra, which is orange. Or we know the third eye, which is an indigo violet color. And so what they're saying is that we have to be able to balance, to step into that space. The chameleon is able to change its colors when it needs to protect itself from something. So when the chameleon is on a leaf, it takes on the green color. And so their message today is that we have to be aware that when we're interacting with others, other energies, we're in certain situations, that we're not adapting those situations and changing our colors and our energy centers to fit the situation that we're in, that we must be able to stay centered. If we step into a situation with someone and they're in an argumentative energy, and we know that that is out of balance, we need to be very aware of how that's affecting us, how it's affecting our energy systems, and go right to those energy systems that we feel are being triggered, because we don't want to turn that muddy, energetic color. We know that the negativity, sometimes it comes in very dark. I know for myself personally, when I'm doing the energy work, I see it as a ruddy brown color. And so what they're asking for us today is to stay centered in that balance. When we know that we've been around something that's negative and we can see that, don't allow ourselves to get pulled into that. Check in with ourselves. What are we feeling? Are we feeling that the heart chakra is starting to darken? Are we feeling our energy centers getting pulled very close instead of being very vast? And then, after we step away, make sure that we run the energy. We need to clean that. And there's many different ways of doing this. I know a simple technique that I always do that was taught to me was when I'm in the shower. Just imagine that the water, it's a healing, living energy, is coming in from the white light source. And as it's cascading over our body, or we're sitting in a tub if we're not in the shower, that we pour the water over us and we just allow that energy to wash away. Imagine it just going into the tub and down the drain. Because we try so hard sometimes to adapt to the situation. Again, if we're in a situation where someone is being argumentative, or we might be trying to help a friend that's in a very emotional situation, that we don't want our energy centers to resonate the same frequency that we're in. We always want to make sure that we're staying in that high frequency. Because although we can be compassionate and relatable, we may have to draw on some of our own experiences to be able to comfort and understand what someone is going through in that moment, why they're reacting, why their energy is coming out the way it is. We want to also be very, very aware and in tune, again, with how we are changing. We want to stay centered, because what Spirit is saying is sometimes it's very easy for us to start resonating that same frequency, and that does not help. That compassion is a different frequency than relating. And so that's part of also being very mindful, they're saying. Being aware of when we're stepping into these situations where things are changing and we have this person that's the chameleon and they're going through the different energies and they're expressing different emotions, and we're feeling this. That we have to understand the difference between relating, compassion, empathy, understanding. All of these different things can change the energy centers. And so, sometimes the best thing to do is to listen, understand, and have a little stillness before we reply. Because it's so easy to react, especially if it's an energy, the chameleon is teaching us, if it's an energy of fear or agitation, right away we're going to want to adapt to our environment. We're going to want to raise up that energy. That anger energy just shifts, and it becomes such an imbalance. And so during those moments, we all know, we all have our own techniques to center, so we're not reacting, because again, we don't want to meet their vibration and their color. We want to stay centered. And so they're also asking to read from the book. Again, it may be because they're giving their message, but there's also something to hear from this. Okay. Chameleon's spirit shares her gift with you today to prepare you for changes that will greatly benefit you. Outer conditions are changing, and you're required to come into harmony with them so you can co-create your greatest dream. Feeling sensitive? Good, because that will come in handy, enabling you to determine how best to adapt to your environment and the people that are in it, while at the same time maintaining your integrity and inner equilibrium. So Spirit is very vivid with this. I haven't even opened this book yet. This is the first time I'm touching the oracle cards. So the message is corresponding with what they've already given, is that we need to maintain that equilibrium, that energetic balance as we're navigating. Even if you feel like you're in an uncharted territory, Chameleon Spirit has complete faith in your ability to fit in and learn the lay of the land. This is a fortunate time to act as if and do as others do until the new way feels familiar and completely neutral. Life is offering you a great lesson now. Adapting isn't about losing yourself. It's about learning how to dance with others. And so I just feel like this is a very powerful message as well, because as we're opening the third eye and we're getting this guidance and we're wanting clarity, a very important space to be in is also balance. Because as we take in information, as we're learning new things, as we're getting this guidance, it can bring up emotions. Because sometimes we're experiencing guidance or downloads or information that doesn't always resonate right away. Sometimes we're not ready for change. We're not ready to go like the chameleon and change colors and be adaptable. Sometimes it's asking us to change a belief system we've adapted, even if it's a spiritual belief system, even if it's we feel like we've been the most open and embracing space that we could be. Sometimes things will rise in us and we'll say, no, that's not what I understand, or that's not what I thought it to be. They're bringing up for me I just had a past life regression, a QHHT session a few days ago, and there was many things that came through, especially from the higher self, subconscious, and some of my guides that I had to listen to over and over again, because I was not ready to adapt to that. I had my guidance before this from the guides and from Spirit that I was holding on to, and it wasn't serving me. It was the guidance that I received before were through my filters. They were through my wants, my needs, my desires. And this needed to be direct and clear. And so when I came out of there, I was in a profound sense of peace. But as I listened later on, because I didn't remember that part of the regression, and I listened to it again, I had all kinds of emotions coming out. Fear, love that I didn't originally believe that I felt, disbelief, and a little anger at myself for not getting the original messages clear, or not understanding originally up until that moment. And so I know that the message from Chameleon today also resonates with me, because it's reminding me that emotions sometimes can, when we're not balanced and not able to keep that space, keep the energy center spinning, and remember that emotions doesn't mean that we have to react, and it doesn't mean we have to change. Emotions are just a response. It can be used to create It can be used to express, but emotions cannot be attached to the clarity and to the understanding. We have to move through them until we feel centered with them. Yes, we may still be experiencing fear, but once we balance the energy centers, we're not going to be changing like the chameleon. We're going to be in our even space. We're going to be where we're at. And if we're in that heart space and we're centered in that heart space, we're going to be green. It's going to shine. And so part of this message today is to understand that it's good to be adaptable, but we have to understand that emotions are a way to express. Emotions are a way to create. Emotions put us in that space where then we're willing to listen and understand. Then we have to let that go and center into all of that, so we're not in any one emotion, because that's stagnant. We don't want to stay in just a space of fear. We don't want to feed the anger and stay in that space. And a lot of people, they're saying, this is going to go into some intense messages. A lot of people are saying they get love confused as an emotion. Love can be expressed. Love can be exchanged. Love can be felt. But love is. Love just is. It's what we are. Love is beingness. And so we need to not confuse an expression of love in its many different facets, because like the rainbow and like the chameleon, there's many different expressions of love, whether it's romantic love, whether it's divine love, whether it's kinship love, whether it's a passion, a love of an experience. And then there is love as what we are, that beautiful expression of source, an expanded awareness in a space of love. So they're pulling their energy back and they're saying the chameleon is beautiful because it's changing and it's adapting. But that is the beauty of the chameleon, because it's also embraced all of those energies. It's centered in that. So though it can change its colors, it doesn't necessarily mean it's stagnant. It's adaptable, it's flowing. Many blessings, everyone. Much love for allowing me to share this message with you today.